I don't think he did. All right. Sorry, let me just create a chat quickly.
Worries.
Paula, can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you create a chat for the AMA? Okay, let's get started. Paulie will create a chat shortly. I'm just going to go over the rules before we get started. So be respectful, use appropriate language, and keep the discussions on topic for at least the best we can. I know sometimes we get off topic, but that's okay. So if you want to introduce yourself and introduce your project a bit, and then we can get into some of the questions that I have pre-written down, and then we can get into some of the member questions after that.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's TJ. I'm the CEO of DePo. Uh, DePo is essentially a multi-market aggregator in the sense that we aggregate multiple sexes, DEX protocols, NFT marketplaces across various chains. And the benefit to doing this is instead of having 100 different tabs open, you can literally have all the data in one place, execute and manage your trades within 3 clicks on our dashboard. And yeah, just it helps people to trade a lot better.
Okay, great. And what is your role at Depot?
Um, so essentially, I oversee a lot all the other leaders. I'm the founder of the project. I was here when it was just like a concept and it was really nothing. Um, but now I work with tech, I work with marketing, I work with George, our operations officer. I'm just all across the board, and I drive the vision.
Great. So do you want to give us a little bigger overview of Depot?
Yeah, for sure. So when I said that we aggregate all the sexes, DEX protocols, NFT marketplaces, and chains, I mean that sounds really broad, and it is, but it allows you to have uh, really what would be considered complex mechanisms available just in one space. So, for example, with our bridge feature, because we're aggregating everything in one place, sexes, dexes, NFT marketplaces, and all the various chains, our bridge is compatible with multiple chains, like more chains than most protocols are. But not only that, it can actually cluster transactions. And this isn't in the release coming out soon, but it can cluster transactions across sexes, across dexes. Um, so let's say a user has, $10,000 on Binance, and there's an opportunity, or they could get more crypto in a trade on KuCoin or just on a DEX protocol because our platform has all this data. It presents to you the best trade opportunity. Um, It'll essentially present it to you. You just one click a button and it bridges over. Um, and then I mean, just delving into that, there's all kinds of other opportunities as well because we aggregate 99% of the market. We also have this thing called revenue sharing, in which all fees across the entire platform will be shared with our users. So 50% of all fees directly out to our users. Um, or not to our users, but to everyone that holds our token. And really excited about that. There's just yeah, there's a lot. And since we aggregate everything, since we have all these data feeds, um, it's just everything is empowered by our proprietary tech, which is the dashboard and being able to access everything within 3 clicks. But yeah.
Great. And is that a DOA? Is how your holders get that, I guess, interest?
Um, So we're just routing it through a smart contract right now. So they have to claim on the dashboard, and our users will be paid in ETH. So V1 of the revenue share. It's on our swap, and our swap right now, for example, it's cheaper than Uniswap. It's cheaper than 1inch. It has more variability. But whenever a user uses our swap here within, I can't say because marketing isn't released that yet, but they will essentially every time they pay for a swap, it'll contribute to revenue sharing, and then 50% of that revenue will go to us, and 50% to a pool for users to claim from. And eventually, the idea is that the revenue share will be divisible per depot token, and everyone that holds depot will automatically have USDC airdrop to them based off of their revenue share.
Great. And that's all on the website in a D app?
Um, to be honest, I'm not sure if that full level of detail is on the website about the revenue share. But that's kind of what's going on behind the scenes in development. Um, but currently, right now, our main product is our swap, and we're building out from here. So we have an NFT marketplace coming, we have bonds coming, revenue share coming, dashboard coming eventually, and there's a lot.
Great. And the depot is a token itself, is that correct? And what chain is that on?
Yeah. It's on ERC or Ethereum.
Ethereum. Okay. And where can we trade depot if I wanted to purchase some?
Yeah, you can trade it on Uniswap. We actually just listed on Gate today. You could trade it on Gate, and then there's a couple other like random centralized exchanges that listed us.
Okay. And I also noticed that you're also on TipCC, which I know a lot of our members enjoy
Yep,
tokens on TipCC. And what is the total supply of depot?
1 billion.
1 billion. Okay. And when did you guys launch the project, and when did you launch the token?
We launched at the end of September, and currently it's about 50% in circulation. And then we have 30% locked up all the way until next September, and the rest for like listing fees, team fees, partnership fees, um, stuff like that.
Okay, great. I have a few more questions. Depot is building a multi-aggregator. Can you tell us what that means and what benefit it delivers to its users regarding uh, ease of use, convenience, and reducing barriers to entry into the world of crypto?
Yeah, for sure. So the fact that we're a multi-market aggregator essentially means that everyone that wants to use our platform, they're not limited to our proprietary tech. Let's say you're a Binance guy or a KuCoin guy, or you're a Pancake Swap guy instead of Uniswap. You love the BSC. We have everything for every user. Because everything is aggregated, you can go into our platform and essentially access whatever uh, tech you're using before or whatever platforms you're on before. But you also have access to other platforms that you might be on. And then you have access to the broader crypto market as a whole. And we think it reduces barriers because currently like everyone's kind of focused on competing and edging the other people out, but we're more concerned about bringing everything into one space and empowering our users.
Okay, great. And I guess you support every chain, or you can add every blockchain.
Yeah, so currently we have Ethereum, the BSC, Optimism, Polygon, but yes, we will support every chain.
So you can eventually you'll add Avalanche and Harmony and etc.
Yep. Avalanche, Harmony, Solana, Cardano. Yeah. Basically, our goal of right now is to just aggregate the top, like the top so and so percentage of the market, and then we'll keep going down from there. That way, we can just get as many users as possible as fast as possible.
Great. Okay. All right, next question. Depot has already released 5 core products, I believe, in just a short few months. You have the deck swap interface that automatically finds optimal transactions, links to places and orders on 5 major centralized exchanges, farms paying out over 100 APY on staked coins, and a range of yield farming opportunities all in one place. You also have a fiat on ramp to buy BTC, Ethereum, and DePo. Can you talk about what you've already built and I guess what is coming down the pipe?
Yeah, for sure. So essentially, right now, like your question, like you stated, we have built those core products out, and those are sort of the foundation for what we're going to use to build forwards into the future. Um, like our sexes, for example, I believe it's Binance, Wobi, KuCoin, Gate, and FTX. Users that have an account on any of those right now can go trade on Depot. Let's say you have an account on all 5, you can manage within Depot a lot easier. And then as far as our farms, we want to reward our users, and we want to give people an introduction into what the future of our farming system will be like. We're gonna have farms, LP pools, bonds. So really excited about that. And then the fiat on ramp, it essentially allows people that might not be familiar with how to set up a wallet to just do it with their credit card. It's a lot easier for people that aren't that familiar with crypto, and we want to reach mass adoption. We want to hit critical mass. So I believe that was an important step. But our swap is definitely our top product right now. I would say we utilize over 150 core money Legos across the entire crypto space. And when I was in a call with Chainlink about this, we were actually talking about it because essentially in this space, people build products out using composable money Legos. And like some of the top products in the space, they might utilize 3, they might utilize 4. Uh, we have over 150 just in our swap alone, and we're just getting started there. But essentially, that allows people to access cheaper prices than 1inch, cheaper prices than Uniswap, um, and I mean, even our transaction times are faster, and people have been enjoying that. We're typically 40 to 50% cheaper than the top other dexes in the space. And then as far as things coming down the pipeline, and there's a lot. I know we're working on an NFT marketplace because of what happened to Looks Rare, and people feel betrayed by the team. I mean, they drained 30,000 ETH, and then OpenSea V2. Every people got exploited from that, and we were gonna build into that side of things anyways already, but especially because these things have happened now. We're really focusing on that, and we have all kinds of people that want to work with us there. And then, I mean, our swap is being upgraded. Revenue share is coming, which is really exciting. Bonds are coming. The dashboard is coming. Um, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. And as far as bonds and the whole new system moving forward, we're trying to take what our token is now. It's just a basically representation of the sentiment about our project. It doesn't technically serve the utility that we want it to serve yet. But once the revenue share is added and once bonds are added, we're going to index the backing of the token. And our token will essentially serve as a reserve currency that pays you to hold it. So, really excited about that. But
That
yeah, there's a lot coming down the pipe.
sounds very exciting. I was going to ask later, but since you brought it up, I can ask it now. You did mention rug pull or the potential almost rug pull. And I did also notice that in my personal research before this AMA. So can you just talk about that a little more? What exactly happened, and I guess what security measures have now been put in place to protect that in the future?
Are you referencing the looks rare rug pull?
I'm referencing that you guys posted on your Twitter that one of your devs exploited a
Okay.
contract.
Yeah, for sure.
And
So
I guess
he was our
stole some funds.
mhm. So he was our former CTO, and he was let go due to just gross negligence and performance issues and not communicating with the rest of the team. And yeah, due to us letting him go, I he had a backdoor in one of the contracts that actually passed an audit, and our funds or our users' funds weren't at risk. It was our reward pool, and essentially he just drained our reward pool and sold it on the open market. And as far as that goes, I mean, we've talked to the FBI, we've talked to the Canadian Mounted Police, we've talked to local departments around his area. We've hired a we've hired a couple lawyers, and we're pursuing that. So we want to get the people's money back and put it right back into Depot. And then as far as what we're doing in the future, we're partnering with Certic with their Skynet feature, and we're having all major features audited by them moving forwards. Um, which is definitely a huge step ahead in transparency and showing our users that our platform is secure. So I'm excited about that. But then, I mean, even past security, since he left, he brought a couple devs with him, and we thought it was going to be such a bad thing at first because our productivity dropped like through the floor. But in the next 2 weeks, my team worked their absolute butts off, and we've hired an amazing team of devs to bring on or to replace them and essentially bring a whole new level of culture to that side of things. And I could say right now we have about 18 guys just hammering away, and they're all amazing. And our new CTO is great as well. I mean, he worked at Samsung overseeing 150 engineers in the past, and he's written academic papers. And we're moving along really well, and a lot better than we ever would if that didn't happen, actually. So
Great. Okay, great. All right, moving on to my other extended questions before we get into some of the user questions. It looks like Depot is already offering some great passive income opportunities, but it sounds like there's much more to come. Can you tell us a bit more about the plans for revenue sharing and referrals in particular?
yeah, for sure. So revenue sharing, I mentioned how we're going to share 50% of all the revenue across our platform. So that won't only be our swap. Currently, that'll be our swap across all chains. That will be our bridge fee across all chains, our NFT marketplace across all chains, our sex fees, arbitrage fees, um, trade station fees, so copy trading. But then as far as the multi-tiered referral system, essentially, let's say link that you have 10 friends that you want to bring on to Depot. They come on to Depot using your link, and they generate $1 million. Well, you'd get 5% of that. And then you get 5% of that for the rest of your life, like 5% of the fees that they generate. And then let's say they bring on 10 friends underneath them, you get 2.5% of their fees. And it goes down all the way to 5 tiers, but it's a real opportunity for people that are evangelizing about crypto, that want to get their families into it, or just people that know and people in the space that want to get them on Depot. And yeah, really excited to get that on board. Um, but I mean, with that, we're gonna have bonds, we're gonna have farms as well. We're working with yield AMMs currently, and there's gonna be a lot of passive income opportunities. And yeah, really excited about that.
Great, that sounds exciting to me for sure.
Thanks.
Okay, next question. You guys got an ambitious array of updates in the works, and bonds in particular sounds very interesting. For somebody who doesn't know what bonds are in crypto context, or in general, I guess, could you please help
Mhm.
explain that opportunity and what this will represent?
Yeah, for sure. So the way our bonds will work, um, or just how bonds work in general, we have a treasury and we want a certain currency. So we set up a bond for that currency, and if users put that forwards, in exchange, we'll give them DePo at a discounted price. The catch is they have to hold that bond period, or they have to hold it for a bond period. And that bond period could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 30 days, whatever it is. But if the user holds that whole time, they're essentially guaranteed our tokens at a discounted price. And yeah, we're taking it quite a few steps further than that. So don't think I'm allowed to announce that yet from a marketing perspective, but we're taking it to the next level.
Great. So I guess look out for that news in the future. That's exciting. Uh, great. What other products are in the pipeline for DePo to include a cross-chain bridge and an NFT marketplace and aggregator? How is this progressing, and what kind of experience can we look forward to?
Sure. So I can pretty much say that the cross-chain bridge is shrink wrapped and ready to go. And so a lot of our updates are we essentially been waiting through this market time because if we release right now, the impact will be like 10 times less. And our users and our holders will suffer because they're not seeing appreciation on their tokens. But as far as the bridge, I could say that's pretty much finished. It's in its final stages of testing. The NFT marketplace, that's coming along very well. To give a broad timeline for that, I mean, we're looking within the next 2.5 months, and that's going to be really exciting. It utilizes elements of LooksRare's UI along with OpenSea, and we're going to have multiple NFT marketplaces in one space, which is it's going to be great for our users. And like I said, we've had about 50 projects reach out to us on Twitter wanting to work with us and launch with us when we get that out. But as far as the UI, just think looks rare, but better with an aggregated interface and Oracle tech to accompany that. Um, yeah, and then as far as our aggregation across the board, that's coming along very well. There's a lot of work we've been doing in the back end. I've been working with my CTO hand in hand over the past week um, on essentially, getting our structural processes down and getting our development processes in place to just a whole another level. Taking practices that he had at Samsung and essentially retrofitting them for crypto. Um, And I mean, if you think our team has been productive thus far, like we're taking it to a whole new level with that. So I'm super excited. Um, and yeah, we're trying to basically fit a pipeline in where eventually we can get one SEX, one DEX protocol on every chain, and one NFT marketplace aggregated a week. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the background, and work is progressing
Sounds
well.
that sounds amazing to me. Um, because I find it's too many places to buy too many things to forget where you bought something or where it's going. Depot,
Exactly.
yeah, Depot prides itself in its strong team and professionalism, which explains the incredible success to date. Could you give us a quick rundown on who's on the team and specifically on the development side of things?
Yeah, for sure. So George Fox, my COO, he brings a lot of experience from his former job. I mean, he's managed all types of infrastructure internationally, and he was even in the military for a time and operated over $400 million worth of infrastructure, and he did fantastic at it. So he's been amazing. Our marketing guy, Nick Ashley, the CMO, he has experience working for a national or an international airline company, managing insanely expensive campaigns for them. He's been doing amazing. He's the reason why, when you look at our community and kind of how small it is right now, just the level of engagement we have is insane. Ryan, our community manager, he brings some experience from the Air Force and very disciplined. And he knows how to lead. He's been doing an amazing job with our community. Built our community interns up to about 15 people now, approaching 20. and they've just been hammering away, getting a million engagements a month each. And then as far as on the dev side, we have Henry Saiputra. Like I mentioned, he worked at Samsung previously, and he brings experience from those enterprise level Fortune 500 companies, and he's brought that to DePo essentially, and he's been doing an amazing job. Like I mentioned, he's written several academic papers. He's worked with some of the top blockchain projects in the space, like literally top three. And I'm not going to disclose names, but basically the tech that we're going to be utilizing here, they wanted to use it, but they wanted to limit it only to themselves and to like big players that they were going to work with. And we're taking a whole other route, and we're going to open source it for everyone. So yeah, that guy, he just brings a whole new level of development to the space. And then as far as the rest of our dev team, I mean, we have collectively, I'd say we have over easily over 50 years of experience in blockchain development, and then probably over 15 years of experience working with non-EVM chains, so like Solana, AVAX, which is exciting. And yeah, I could talk about my team for days. They're awesome.
That's great. I mean, it shows that your passion for the project and shows your passion with your team. If you definitely enjoy working with them, that's always a good sign for any job.
Absolutely.
So a few people asked, and I guess I'll combine this into one question: is where can Depot be purchased or traded from?
So you can go to Uniswap, and well, I'm not even going to say go to Uniswap. Go to depot.io, and we access Uniswap. We access over 150 other DEX protocols. Buy Depot on Depot and get it for $30, $50 cheaper than you would anywhere else. And then there's also gate.io. If anyone is registered there, you can purchase Depot there as well.
Great. So why did you just use the Ether network? Um, and why did you choose Ether network? I guess the Ethereum network over other networks to host your token.
Sure. So I feel like Ethereum represents they're like the most robust decentralized chain out there currently. I mean, they've been there since the beginning pretty much. And I've worked in the BSC before. That was another option we were looking at, and it didn't bring that feel. I feel like a lot of projects on there are rug pulls, and not to offend anyone that's a big fan of the BSC, but for our start, we chose Ethereum just because it's like a monolith in the space. Um, Pretty much all the top quality projects go there. But as far as in the future, our token won't just be on Ethereum. With our bridge, we're gonna have a wrapped token on every single chain. So you'll be able to interact with Depot on ADA, Solana, AVAX, the BSC, even layer twos, Polygon, Arbitrum. Yeah, we're not limiting ourselves to just one chain for long.
Great. I'm going to skip some questions because you've already answered them. You've already answered that one too. If people are already using some platform for NFTs and stuff,
Mhm.
and for other cryptos and stuff, I guess cryptos and NFTs, what would drive somebody to your platform, given that there are existing giant platforms like Binance and I guess Uniswap and PancakeSwap that are already trying to aggregate several markets into the platform as well?
Sure. So the reason why people would want to go to Depot is that if anyone is really into the crypto space, they don't just use Binance. They're gonna be on Binance. They're gonna be on Uniswap. They're likely gonna have their favorite NFT marketplace. Like, why have all those tabs open when you can use them in Depot? But then past that, the user, whenever they come to Depot and they type in a specific asset or a swap, they might be presented with something that's a lot cheaper than the platform they've been using currently. Um, and I mean, there's actually a pretty large chance that they will be. looking at all the data and everything that we've aggregated, there's a lot of hidden fees on really popular sexes that people use. The protocol fees are really high on dexes that most people use. And as far as NFT marketplaces, there's we're definitely coming out with a better option here. Um, but yeah, essentially any user with whatever portfolio of assets they have across whatever platforms they have it, they're going to be able to access everything from one space within Depot on one page or dashboard and within 3 clicks. So let's say you have a holding or a position open on Binance, you're in futures on Binance, and you have a spot order open on KuCoin, and you have 20 different wallets across all these different chains and they're hooked up to various liquidity pool and farm protocols, and you have NFTs. You can literally consolidate all that in one space, and the user can access and they can edit their positions, they can move their take profits and their stop losses on the Binance and the KuCoin example. Um, and they can open trades instantly from their holdings within that side of the dashboard. On the DEX protocol side, you can add and remove liquidity from your pools right like from there in a mini window. You can hit swap, you can hit bridge, it'll open up a mini window. You can do that instantly. You can even drag and drop assets in the future. And they'll automatically bridge for you with a one-click bridge or one-click swap feature. Um, and then NFT marketplaces, you can look at your bids, you can look at your listings, you can list your NFTs, one click right from the dashboard. And like people that are big in NFTs, I know how hard it is gym hunting with like 50 different platforms. You have to almost have an Excel spreadsheet to be tracking everything. Well, within Depot, you can have all those platforms in one space. You can see if your bid is like if you're still number one, if someone outbids you, you can. I mean, it opens up a whole new swath of opportunities that were never possible before. Um, so yeah, that's why someone would want to use Depot. You can access and execute across the entire market within 3 clicks from one space.
Great. What is the biggest difference between the Depot project and other Delphi projects?
Um, I'd say it's our focus on aggregation instead of competition. Like I mentioned earlier, most people they want their cut of things at the end of the day, and as long as they get their cut, they're fine. They don't want to build past what they've built already, which is what you see in a lot of these projects. But the mission of Depot is to always expand and to always get better, to always be more efficient for our users. And I'd say it's the philosophy that drives it, the vision itself, and it's what we've put out in the market so far. Like you see some of these top projects, they might utilize 5 different money Lego blocks, but we've already infused over 150, and we're not stopping anytime soon.
Great. If you're trying to consolidate several marketplaces into a single platform, won't it make your platform less user friendly and more difficult to use?
No, so it's because of our UI. So I can see what this person is saying, but it's not like we're having everything just scrambled and it's like a mess thrown across the screen. With all these platforms and with the dashboard, like almost imagine if anyone's familiar with Lunar Crush or just like a sex itself, like the sex literally like Binance, for example, they pull thousands of pieces of data across the entire market, yet they make it look very clean when you're making a trade. And as far as our dashboard goes, all this information is there and all these accounts are there, but they're consolidated into specific sections within the dashboard. The most valuable for the user will always be towards the top. And then when they click on it, it opens up a mini window where they can execute. And because, I mean, if you look at a lot of the platforms out there today, there's a lot of empty space. Like literally any swap or bridge protocol, it's a tiny little window, and then 90% of the screen is empty. Like, why do that when we can have our dashboard, and then we can just have like the user wants to swap or bridge. It opens up the tiny window. They could swap or bridge instantly. Um, yeah, I mean, essentially all this data and all these accounts are consolidated into three sections, which I call cards. There's going to be the centralized card, the decentralized card, and the NFT card. And within that, there's going to be sections on the bottom that represent the individual sections underlying the card. So for sex, it would be holdings and positions. For DEX, it might be farms, bonds, pools. And then for the NFT marketplace, it might be bids and listings. But essentially, this whole system, it's very well thought out. And like I said, having all this data and letting users execute within 3 clicks, no one else has been able to do it. And just the fact that you can do it shows how organized the platform is. Because if everything was just strewn about and users couldn't understand what was going on, it'd take a lot more than that to do anything. So.
Great. Um, what is your plans to scale the platform to a larger user?
A lot of our plans there is to just continue developing and having development driven growth. But as soon as revenue share drops, and especially the multi-tiered referral system, we can give these links out to influencers, and they'll be able to build passive incomes for themselves. So if you look at a lot of projects that have relationships with specific influencers, um, they just they don't really grow from there. And most projects, they just hand off the influencer X amount of money every time they want them to tweet. We don't really want to do that. With our multi-tiered referral system, the idea is that every single user and every single influencer person with a following, even if they don't use our platform with that link, they're going to still want to evangelize about it because they're creating passive income for themselves for the rest of their lives. And I mean, I'd say, yeah, definitely focusing on development, focusing on getting our referral system out, and focusing on word of mouth. If our product is the best product in the space, people are going to talk about it. Look at Tesla; they don't spend anything on marketing yet. They're amazing, and they absolutely transcend everyone in the automotive space. We want to be similar, but even better in the crypto space.
Great. If your goal is to consolidate many marketplaces into a single platform, do you think there is any risk if, or crash in the single market? Will it affect the platform? So I think this person's asking because you have a single marketplace. If the market crashes, the crypto market, will this affect your platform? And what are you doing to reduce this risk?
Yeah, for sure. So if there's a macroeconomic event that impacts the entire crypto market, of course, it will. I mean, people will use our platform less. But I mean, I think the user's kind of getting at, like, let's say Binance goes down and we have Binance integrated. Um, will people still be able to use other pieces of our platform? And yeah, essentially, like, I mean, Solana always goes down. A lot of these platforms always go down. You just won't be able to access them from Depot at that exact time they're down. You'll still be able to access the rest of the platform. Um, and then as far as like a macro event, so let's say there's something calamitous that happens out in the world and no one's concerned about crypto. The idea with the passive income, the revenue share, is that people want to hold their depot anyway. So there's going to be massive buy pressure. Um, and then past that, with the bonds, there's going to be a treasury backing the token. And that token will, or our token will essentially be uh, backed by that index. And the index is Bitcoin, gold, and the US dollar. So it's really a reserve currency. It really has the potential. And I think if there's a major macro event like that, then you'll see what's been happening so far with our token. We've been holding strong even after all this time. So, and we're continuing to grow through this market. I mean, we literally launched like at the apex or at the launch of the bear market pretty much. And we've hit over 100x, and right now we're sitting at like 30x. So
Great. Um, so somebody asked again about your security and what measures have taken place to make sure the platform is secure.
absolutely. So to get more in depth with that, we're following a test driven development process in which every single developer has their own individual repository. And whenever they push code through, it has to go through three different stages. So there's staging, and then there's staging on two different sites. There's not going to get into that fully, but then there's testnet, and essentially, whenever they have their code, they have to have test cases. So it never will actually touch the rest of the code until it's been tested, thoroughly looked at by multiple people, and for major features, like I said, audited. And then when the code is finally deployed to our main code base, it's it's deployed by one single person, and they have access to the keys, and no one else can touch the code. No one has a backdoor. Um, Nothing like that. The person that's actually deploys it at the end will always have the private key. And then as far as that goes, we have a multi-sig on top of that. And then on top of that, I mentioned CertIC. We're utilizing their Skynet services and CertIC audits for every major feature going forwards. And actually, just to reiterate real quick, Link, with the exploit that did happen previously, the user's funds were never at risk. For that contract, it was the highest rating. Like we had the highest rating um, out of any other contract that auditing service gave us. It was just the reward pool that got drained. So I want to reiterate that, and then after that, of course, we've taken all these new measures as well.
Good. Sorry, there's no security questions. Um, Almost every investor holds a token for the short term without fully understanding the long term value. How do you ensure, for us, how do you ensure that the education of holding this token will be beneficial long term for your investors?
Sure. So we try to do that through our community, and our community has an amazing sense of family to it, and everyone that joins, they're instantly welcomed. And any questions they ask, we educate them completely on the product. And I have to say, I'm really proud of the community for that. And moving forwards, that's our philosophy as well. Any new people that are going to join, that are going to hold Depot, they have access to our communities, and they have access to the culture that we set. Um, so I'd say, yeah. I mean, as far as accessible as our platform plans to be, our community is on that same level, and we plan to welcome everybody. So, and as far as educating people, I mean, we're gonna have documentation. We're gonna have a Git book. We have our white paper, and eventually, we're gonna have videos up as well with me talking through the code, and going to be working with influencers. They're inevitably through the multi-tiered referral system going to have videos out there educating people on Depot. And yeah, I just always plan to have these AMAs as well, where anyone that wants to ask questions, I could just help them out.
And sorry, you mentioned earlier about the interface for the website. I would encourage whoever asked that question to actually go to depot.io and check it out themselves because, I mean, me personally, I find the interface very easy to understand versus a lot of the other D apps and websites that are similar. Um,
Yep, yep.
Speaking of the website, how do the pools and farms work? Are those live yet? And can you actually put in your tokens now and start getting revenue?
Yeah, so our farms are live. I know like last week they had, I think it was like 500% APY for a short while. I'm not sure what they're at now. but people have been generating a ton of revenue. We have over 7 million aggregated across all their individual farms. Um, Actually, if you look at our stablecoin farms, I think it's over 5 million now. And then if you look at our LP um, and single side staking, I think we have over 15 or 20 million staked in there, which shows a lot of faith in the project. Um, but yeah, our farms are live. And then as far as our pool features, users can access all the pools on Uniswap, and then I believe PancakeSwap, um, right now from our platform.
Okay, great. And I guess you just connect your MetaMask and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's actually Uni and Sushi.
Okay,
So yep. So we have our native farms. You're good to go there. And then if you want to connect to Uniswap and Sushi Swap pools, you can do that directly from our platform.
great. Will DePo be totally decentralized?
Yes.
Perfect. You've already answered cross-chain support. What can you reiterate? What percentage will the stakers of Depot earn, and how much how do you determine that percentage?
Um, so staking, that's very broad because we're gonna have a lot of different pools. But essentially each pool will be designed to give people a certain percentage or a certain APY for a certain period of time. So I can't answer on that side of things specifically. I mean, we always want to outcompete everyone else. I'll just say that there. But I think the user is getting, or I think the person asking the question is getting at the revenue share. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, or how much you believe in the project. If you hold Depot, you're gonna get 50% of the revenue share aggregated across the entire platform delivered to you per token. So, like I mentioned earlier, let's say we have a billion tokens and we generate $1 billion in fees every single day. Cut that in half, 500 million will be sent out to users every single day, um, or sent out to holders divided per token. So it doesn't matter like if you believe in the project or not, or if you're into specific pieces of the project. If you hold Depot, you're going to get paid to hold Depot.
Great. So somebody asked about the 30% locked. I didn't personally see that in my research, but maybe you can talk about that. Is there
Yeah, for
something locked?
sure. Yeah, so 30% of our token supply is locked until um, September 29th of this year. And 10% will be unlocked every month. So it'll be September 29th, 10% unlocked, or 33% of the 30%, which is 10% unlocked. And then the next month, 10, 10 more percent. And then next month, 10%. And the idea with that is to show um, show the community and show people that want to invest in the project that we have a lot of faith behind it because our team tokens are actually locked up into that. So no team member gets bonuses until that time. And which we think is huge. And then of course we want to utilize that for further centralized exchange listings, for setting up more pools, and for decentralizing the platform.
Great. What are the fees and gas? What are the exchange and gas fee structure like?
Um, so the gas fee structure across the deck side of things, we essentially we take the native protocol across all these different dexes. They have their protocol fee, they have their gas fee. Whenever a user searches for an asset, we give them the cheapest asset, and like we literally scan through all these different protocols we have hooked up, the cheapest asset plus the cheapest fee. And and then on top of that we have our small revenue sharing, and eventually we're going to have no native fee and just revenue sharing. So what you see right now plus our revenue sharing will still be cheaper than Uniswap and 1inch. Um, but just delving further into it, eventually there won't be a Uniswap and 1inch fee period. And same for a lot of these DEX protocols, because we're working individually within each smart contract. The user will just be able to use DePo, and the revenue share will generate like 3 to 4 times as much as it will upon launch. And then as far as the sexes, it's relatively the same. Um, the idea is that whenever a user searches, it's going to kind of look like Orion in the sense that you'll see all the logos of the little sexes on the side, and then the user can trade from there. But we're taking it one step further. We're going to actually have a compare exchanges tab where it'll show all the hidden fees and it'll show you the best deal. When the user clicks on the best deal, we'll have a fee on top of that, but that fee will always be cheaper than the second cheapest fee on the network or across all of crypto. Um, which eventually we plan to placate that by moving into creating our own centralized exchange in a sense and just absolutely destroying everyone else out there on fees even further.
What is your marketing strategy regarding launching into big crypto markets, for example, South Asian countries like Pakistan and India?
So our marketing strategy, like I mentioned, have that multi-tiered referral system, which will be huge, regardless of where you are across the world. But hitting the Southeast Asian markets, I mean, Gate is a prime example of that. Gate is really popular over there. There's also other exchanges that we've been talking to that are big over there. Um, and then just moving into the BSC in general, because I feel like the BSC is extremely popular in most nations around the world because people don't want to pay Ethereum gas fees, but especially in Southeast Asia. So us launching on a bridge and then can't say too much here, but and then focusing a little bit more on the BSC will definitely attract users from that area. Could say that. So
Great. Sorry, there's lots of repeated questions.
no worries.
To somebody, this is a funny question, but I think it's a valid one. To somebody that is not crypto savvy, what can you tell the person what Depot is and what multi-market aggregator is? Please explain this to me like I'm 5.
Like you're 5. Okay.
Like they're just asking if you could explain those, and I guess in layman's terms for people that aren't in the crypto space too often.
For sure, for sure. So you look at any industry across the world that's been established and they have something just like Depot that's at the head of that industry. I mean, in e-commerce, you have Amazon. Amazon aggregates all these different businesses and products from all over the world. They rate the best product. They have the cheapest product that retains quality, usually wins. So you see extremely high ratings for that. But then Amazon also has Amazon Basics, where they develop their own products that are cheaper than the cheapest product and better in quality. Um, just pretty much the exact model with Depot. Another example is with Walmart. Walmart's it's like a centralized store of products and things that people can use every day in their homes, and they're spread out throughout the world, or throughout the United States at least. And people go into a Walmart. Not every product is made by Walmart. There's products from all sorts of different businesses and companies, and it essentially aggregates the best of the best for people, and they can just go in there and they can get whatever they want. They don't have to. I mean, back in the day, you wanted apple juice, you went to the orchard, and the apple farmer guy. I don't know, like he had apple juice for you. You wanted milk, you went to the dairy farm, or you had the milkman that had to come to your house. You wanted like beef or pork. Like essentially, Walmart has aggregated all these different products into one space, and then they develop their own brand, Great Value, which outcompetes all these products, um, cheaper and it's better. just like DePo. Uh, you look at the travel industry. You look at kayak or um, whatever other options there might be. But it essentially, if you want to go on a flight, it combines your flight, your hotel room, and it helps you get a car, and it aggregates all these different businesses and all these different airlines, and all these different hotels, and it'll find you the best option, and they have a little bit of a fee on top for convenience. And yeah, just look at every other industry across the world, and I think Amazon and Walmart, the analogies are a little tighter here. But yeah, I mean, look at how successful both of them are, and that's essentially what we're doing with crypto.
Great, that is really exciting from an investor standpoint.
Yep, I'd have to agree with you there.
If Okay, somebody's asking, maybe maybe a weird question, but if I don't have an account at any of these exchanges, because some people are underage or can't do KYC, or living in certain countries that don't allow these type of exchanges, will I still be able to use your platform?
Yes. So I can say right now, uh, in order to use our sex, you have to have a registered account and you have to create an API key and bring it over. But in the future, we're going to have a smart contract factory that essentially will generates connections with enterprise accounts across the top 25 exchanges in the market. And users can just literally go on our website and use our centralized exchanges like normal, the top 25, without having to make an account. It'll literally be like using a deck. Like you hook up your wallet and you can trade on the top 25 exchanges with no KYC.
That's great. Um, what is your strategy in the NFT space? No matter how popular a token is in that space, it's very tough to crack. How are you going to bring somebody new into crypto into NFTs?
Sure. So I'd say the NFT space, honestly, from my perspective at least, it's probably the easiest to get into because people are just like, take my money, you know? And I think there's a lot of opportunity right now because OpenSea has ruined people's trust. No one wants to use OpenSea anymore, period. But then they're gonna have an exploitable contract and people are gonna get hacked. And then Looks Rare was like, coming out. It was the underdog and he was starting to get towards the top, and then they drained 30,000 Ethereum from their supporters. Like essentially, the way we're moving into the space is we're taking the best parts between those two. We're developing our own proprietary platform, and then we're aggregating the top 5 NFT marketplaces across multiple chains, all in our NFT marketplace. And we're also bringing that level of trust that people need. Our team is fully doxed. Our tokenomics are everyone knows our tokenomics are sound. Um, and yeah, I mean, we're capitalizing on the lack of trust in the space right now, and we're also developing a superior product. So I'd say it's in multiple ways that we're going to be outcompeting every other NFT platform out there.
Okay, great. Um, I'm going to ask you one or two more questions because we're just at the end of the AMA, but let's continue just for one or two more questions.
All right.
How do you prevent fake or manipulated market cap to show in an aggregator? This is a common problem for aggregators.
So is the user talking about it in like how individual product projects will do that?
Yeah. So if an individual product, I guess, other token or project does that, and it's listed on Depot, how are you guys going to kind of protect that to the client or to your users?
So right now we're utilizing Chainlink price feeds, and if it gets past Chainlink, it gets past everyone. So I'll say that. I mean, of course, with Chainlink, they have multiple feeds going in as well, and they like average that out. We're using Chainlink, so that's the most secure data source on the market. But then past that, we're going to be using keepers as well from them.
Great. You okay? different exchanges can have price differences of the same coin at the same time. How is this solved, and what price will be shown in real time on DePo if we have accounts on multiple exchanges with different prices of the same coins?
Sure. So that's completely normal because different exchanges have different liquidity pools and like to pull from, which is why Depot is like why we're aggregating all of them and we're presenting the cheapest price to our users. This is a common problem in any market around the world, especially in inefficient markets, which is what you see in crypto. So the idea with that is we're going to allow everyone to exploit this weakness in the market by like let's say like the person asking has five exchanges and they search for an asset there or they want to do BTC to ETH. And then they're going to be like, whoa, there's literally like a $50 price discrepancy per Ethereum on Binance compared to KuCoin. Well, we're going to present that opportunity to them. They're going to save a lot of money and it's going to make the market more efficient as a whole because the market will have to catch up to what we're doing and how we're allowing people to catch all these small discrepancies. So I don't think that's an issue um, for individuals as a whole, but it's definitely an issue for the exchanges that don't have the ability to do what we're doing and present the best opportunities to our users. That's for sure.
Great. And I'll ask this one final question before we end this. Um, are you guys focusing on regular traders or just big whales who can turn a project upside down? And I guess on top of that, how are you whale protecting if you are?
So it's for everybody. I mean, let's say you have $20 and you're on the BSC. Well, the platform is for you. Like I don't care how much money you have, how little money you have, the platform is for you individually. And and yeah, I mean, like I said, we want everyone to come into crypto. We want people that are uneducated about the financial opportunities in crypto come to this space and for it to change their lives. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, like it is possible to make money on Depot. And to answer that question even further, in the future, there's going to be copy trading. So right now, you look at a couple sexes, they have copy trading, but just across the centralized side of things. We're literally going to have like a leaderboard where copy traders or where traders and people that manage bots will come in. They have their list of trades. We'll audit their list of trades, and then people can copy that person. They literally don't have to do anything. Their assets in their account will automatically be moved to copy their trades. They'll make profit passively just sitting there. They can like someone that has never touched crypto before can open an account on Depot in the future and click a button and they can trade as good as the best whale out there. Um, and yeah, and as far as that goes, with whales and average everyday traders, a lot of the opportunities that we have, we're going to be reading people's account balances. So let's say there is an arbitrage opportunity between a lot of these exchanges. We're not going to be presenting these arbitrage opportunities just to whales, and we're going to also limit our exposure to the whales as well because they'll try to be taking advantage of that, of course. It's gonna be on a rolling basis, and we're gonna dole it out evenly between, people that have an average amount in their account and whales that have millions and millions of dollars.
Great. Thank you so much. So I
Thank
guess
you.
we can conclude our AMA. We're up at a time. I know there was a ton more questions that were thrown in the chat. I encourage you guys to reach out to the Depot team on their social media
Yep.
platforms. I just posted in the chat, and they can
Join our
continue the
Discord.
discussion on their Discord. And if you want to say any closing words,
We are DeFi. We are Depot. Thank you, everyone.
thank you guys. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.